Hey guys, I want to show you my brand new 2026 Vexus VXs21, or as I like to call her, Midnight Hammer. This thing is an absolute battleship. This boat is huge. It's 2110, so this is almost a 22-foot bass boat, but this thing handles like it's a 20-footer. It's absolutely phenomenal. I want to take you and show you all through this thing. This is by far the best bass boat I've ever had. Let's check it out. So the first thing, like I said, she's named Midnight Hammer, and I got the hard case paint. This is actually paint instead of gel coat, and it's one of the things that Vexus is known for. They can match it to any color that you want, but I picked this black. It is absolutely beautiful. I love having the paint on here, but we'll get back here to the back and we'll start out with obviously the business end of it. Mercury 250 Pro XS. I got a Fury 23 pitch on the back. I've got a Atlas, a 10-inch jack plate. And believe it or not, I don't have the hole shot plate on this. And this boat gets up so quick that I didn't even realize until like 2 days ago that it didn't have a hole shot plate on it. Went with the power pole blades, the 10-footers. I just think, why not have 10-footers? I mean, you can stop in a foot or two deeper water than you can with 8s. I love the 10-footers. I've always had them. These are the new Power Pole 1 system. So it only has one pump down inside of it instead of two. One pump runs both the power poles. That way it saves a lot of room for, say, you know, a spare prop, anything like that that you want to put down in there. Lots and lots more room inside any boat, whether it's this boat or any boat, that one pump system. And check this out. No more big mounting plate coming off the bracket or coming from behind the jack plate or anything. They bolt straight to the boat. So they actually put an aluminum plate inside the fiberglass of the boat that's right in there. It's a backing plate, and then they drill it and they go right into the hull like that. So what that actually does is it's just a lot more stable, and it keeps all these bushings in the power poles so they don't move as much, and it actually makes your power pole last longer. It's less junk that you have on the boat, and it's a lot more solid. I don't even have a dent in my prop yet. Look at that, absolutely amazing. And I think, yeah, there's no paint off the skeg yet. You can tell it's brand new because you know me, when I get a boat, it's gonna have some paint missing off the skeg. Have to order another prop or two. You know, anyway, we'll stay away from that for right now. Here you can kind of see the enormity of this front deck. I mean, this boat, like I said, it's huge and it feels like it. I've already had it up on Lake Ontario and it performed flawlessly. I mean, the ride of this thing is absolutely second to none, and there's a couple of reasons why that is, but one of them is actually right here under my armpit. If you'll see this, not my armpit, I'm talking about the gas fill. You see this gas fill, the gas tank is in a totally different place in all these Vexus VXSs. So the gas tank, instead of being under and behind the seats, the gas tank is very long and narrow, and it runs right down in the bottom of the V of the boat. So all that weight, instead of being kind of back this way, it's very evenly distributed all down in the V of the boat. And that's one of the reasons why these things, I mean, they handle water, like even just going across just like big boat wakes, it just goes do-do-do. Like it doesn't even, you know, it doesn't bounce or anything like that. And it's all about having that weight down in the center of the V. So that's absolutely amazing. And then another thing that's really, really a big deal, and I will never not have them again, is these seats that have it's the airwave pedestal underneath of them. And you can actually put air to your body weight. So you pump that up to a certain PSI to match your body weight, and it comes with a chart. And it is absolutely phenomenal. So even when you get in really big waves and the boat does hit a little bit, it doesn't hit you because that air wave just soaks it right up. So that's absolutely amazing. One of the reasons why the boat rides so good. Start getting up here to the front end of it. Power pole move, trolling motor, absolutely phenomenal. I can't say enough about the power pole move. Unbelievably quiet. And when I say quiet, I'm not just talking about the motor that runs the propeller down here. The motor that turns the shaft of the trolling motor that allows you to turn the motor and maneuver around, this motor is super, super quiet. So this thing, just talking about sneaking up on them, super, super stealthy. I love that thing. Lowrance Active Target 2 forward-facing sonar. The only thing I haven't done yet is I need to just dress up this a little bit. I just got some tape holding it on for right now. I'm gonna get some of those fancy little clips and put on there, but hey, I wanted to go fishing, and for right now, some electrical tape will do it. Maybe we'll even fix that this afternoon. If you come over here, you can see I've got my 2 Lowrance units, and they're mounted on Bass Boat Technologies hood mount. So, you know, we're always putting new products on our boats, right? All the time, especially when we're running forward-facing sonar and all this other stuff. This mount, a couple of horses could step on that thing and wouldn't hurt it. But if you need to get down in there, instead of having to take all this apart, there's just a couple of screws right here, a couple of Allen heads, pull them out, and this whole thing rocks backwards, and you can get right down in there without having to take all that stuff apart. So it really, really saves time if you want to get down in there. Man, Van and the guys at Bass Boat Technologies, they just come up with just the best ideas for all these kind of mounts. And then the Bass Boat Technologies gimbal mounts, these are so much thicker than the original ones that come from Lowrance. You know, you don't want some cheesy mount up here and then the first time you spear a wave and it rips your graphs off and everything. Speaking of graphs and speaking of saving money, I'm gonna tell you about this little hack that I learned this year. So what I've got here, this unit down here, this is an HDS-12 Pro, and this is an Elite FS unit. So this unit is, I don't remember exactly, but I think it's $1,500, maybe $1,700 less than this one. The pixels are the same, the screen's the same. It does basically all the same stuff, except there's one major thing. It only has one Ethernet port in the back instead of 2. So you can't have this be your mother machine. You can't have this be in the middle of your chain of linked together stuff, but it can be the end of the chain because you can't have another Ethernet cord coming out of this to feed another unit. So this one has 2, so my Ethernet comes into the back of this one, comes out of this one, and goes into the back of this one, and then that's where it terminates, it ends. So I spent $1,500 or $1,700 less, and I'm getting the exact same reading. So I'm running my forward-facing sonar on this one, and it looks exactly the same as it would on this one. The Vexus has a little cup holder up front here. It actually has 2 cup holders up front. A little place here to stick your pliers and stuff. Haven't quite got that far yet. Like I said, it's a brand new boat. So let's jump up inside, and I'm gonna show you some stuff inside the boat that I think you're gonna like. So, you know, you were talking about how huge the front deck on this boat is. Well, obviously when you have a front deck that big, you're gonna have a ton of storage too. So check this out. I mean, there is just room to put everything, and then you can put 12 rods on top of all that stuff if you wanted to. I mean, that thing is deep. Look at this, how deep that is. It goes all the way down into there. All these bags would fit, and like I said, then you can actually put rods on top of that if you want to, but you don't really need to because look how huge this rod locker is. I've got like 25 rods in there right now. I could probably put 15 more at least in there. So it's just absolutely phenomenal how big this is up here. Then it's got kind of a little day box on this side, which I keep some more of my, my tackle boxes in, and of course got to have some zoo dogs and some zoo pups. But it's got that, and then typically up here, this is where I usually just keep, maybe some spare life jackets, some rain gear. This is where my Active Target 2 box is mounted inside this other side rod locker or storage compartment, I guess you could call it. But I mean, and then just like we can dance up here. Like, I mean, I don't know if I can do like the jig or anything. Sit in this nice air ride seat. So I've got a HDS-16 Pro right here that is, a lot of guys run the 212s, but I love the 16 because it's just, I can see everything that I need to. I've got traditional, usually I'm running traditional sonar, chart, and then all the way across the bottom, that's where I have my side imaging. So I run the side imaging, from here over for that side, absolutely phenomenal. I've got, this right here is really cool. So this, in that little cradle I just took it out of, This actually charges when it's in that cradle, but it's a remote control for both of my power poles and for the move. And I'll tell you what's really neat with this. So say when you have some, you know, a lot of people, I live down here in Florida in the Palm Bay area, and everybody wants to come down here and fish headwaters and stick marsh and, you know, just all the phenomenal fishing we have down here. Well, one of the things that I'll do a lot of times, you know, I'll have to check some emails, I'll have to make some phone calls, I'll have to do something, I'll have some guys out fishing. Well, I can sit back here and actually run the trolling motor for them and troll them to the spots that we need to go to for them to catch some more fish. You got the anchor mode on here, so you can put the trolling motor into anchor mode from sitting right back here. And like I said, anytime it's in this little cradle, that thing is always charging, so that's really cool. I got a stereo in the boat. It's got 2 speakers behind the seats. I love that. We got the little keyless start pad here. Don't use the keys anymore. Got the Mercury SmartCraft is built into the Vexus gauge over here, so I can look at everything I need to. Check this thing out. Not only is it huge, and I've got some leftover cherry packets, some stuff that I obviously didn't clean out yesterday when we were fishing, but I will clean it out here in a little bit. But it's really, really well insulated, and it's huge. And here's the thing, most boats have a little console right here. What do you keep in there? Extra pair of sunglasses, your boat registration. It's stuff that you don't need all the time. Well, every time I sit down here to move spots when I'm fishing, I want a drink. So instead of reaching all the way up here, doing all this crap and getting a drink, man, as soon as I sit down, I just pop that up, reach in there. It's just so much easier. And then up there where a lot of other boats have their cooler, this one, that's just a little storage compartment up there. So, you know, maybe if you get pulled over all the time, you need your registration more than others, but you know, put some of your culling stuff in there. You know, got my Bubba scale in there, my culling stuff. I mean, you know, the stuff that you're not going to use all the time, that's just up there. So it's just a way better system. We start moving back here. You got a really good live well system. Check this out. So it opens, but you've got clear lids so you can look in there and see what you're trying to get at, which fish you want to call. And then with these other individual ones, you don't have to worry about jailbreak. So usually when you would open this, if you didn't have these 2 individual doors, a fish could jump into one side or the other. And you know, if you're in a co-angler tournament, you know, that could be detrimental to, you know, knowing whose fish are whose. But this system is awesome. Obviously, it's got the automatic pump out, and it will. This really cool part of it right here too is they have an actual diagram on here where they show you exactly how everything works. It's very easy. You're not guessing anymore. You can just open it up and read exactly how you want to do this in conjunction with your switches up here. Everything is just laid out for you, and it has another cool feature too. So you see a lot of guys that are putting like those pool noodles and different things in their live well when they know they're going to be in some rough water, and it's to keep the fish from beating up against the top of the live well and injuring the fish. So Vexus has a deal where you can completely fill the live well up. Now you say, well, wait a minute, if it's completely full, it's not going to get as much oxygen in the water. Oh no, every one of them has an oxygenator in it. So just because it's filled all the way to the top doesn't mean that they're not getting oxygen, because they are through the oxygenator. But when they're full all the way to the top, that way when you're bouncing around out there, you don't have to have pool noodles in there or whatever other crazy apparatuses that guys are coming up with to be able to do that. It just fills it up for you automatically. So like they thought of like just all the little things that you could possibly think of just to make your day on the water just that much better. I mean, it's just amazing. Every day that I own one of these boats, I keep finding something else that is just phenomenal. All right, so back here in the battery compartment, you can see I'm running Optima batteries this year. I've got 3 of their trolling motor batteries, but it meets all the requirements that Mercury has for a cranking battery. So that's why you say, do you have 4 of the same batteries? They're actually not. This is a dual purpose marine cranking and deep cycle. These are 150 amp hour batteries. They're one of the highest amp hour batteries that you can get. I think the cranking battery is 120. I've got the power pole charge system on there. So that's the smart charger. It automatically manages everything back here. Spare prop right here. Usually my spare, I always carry a 4-blade. I have no idea why I do that, but that's just the one that I always have on there. So they say they get you on plane quicker. I don't know. Luckily, I've only had to use it a few times and I really wasn't paying that much attention. So whole master switch right here to turn everything off. You know, I'm really gotten in the habit of making sure I turn everything off, turn the master switch off, because we just have so much electronics on these boats now that, you know, you really want to make sure you turn that off all the time. And then Vexus also mounted a whole big master switch for the entire trolling motor system too. So you turn that off as well, and keeps all your batteries good. Especially when you got these big Optimas, man. They are the best battery. You can run all the time. I don't even charge them that often. Between as good as they hold up and the power pole charge, they're just almost always charged. So, man, that's the tour of the new Vexus. As like I said, we call her, oh yes, we call her Midnight Hammer.